Okay.
Somebody call me?
Okay.
The American Broadcasting Company presents OK, starring Kay Westfall, with Jim Dimitri, David LeWinter, and a few friends. This is where Kay lives, a small studio apartment on Chicago's near north side. Nothing pretentious, but very cozy. Just the spot to visit with Kay and her friends. Oh, don't worry about noise from the glassworks on the first floor. They don't work on Saturdays.
Well, as you see, you got here much sooner than I expected. I was just sort of putting the finishing touches on the apartment because I wanted it to look nice and clean and was sort of extra special for our first visit together. By the way, do you like the apartment? It's real nice for me because it's easy to take care of, and that's important when you work every day. By way of explanation, the reason I asked you over here this morning, well, this is really a television show, but we're not going to be very dramatic about it. I just thought it would be kind of nice if every time you came over, I'd invite a few other people over, too. People that you know and like, and some people that you don't know, but you'd like to.
Hey, Kay.
Oh, yeah?
Have you got a hair dryer?
Yeah, there's one in the bathroom. You want me to get it for you?
Oh, no, I'll get it.
Oh, and there will probably be some people that I didn't invite, too. But that's what happens when you let the front door... Yeah. Oh, hi, Jim.
Hi, is he here yet?
No, he isn't, but I imagine he's on his way up. He just lives downstairs in the English basement, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Behind the washing machine.
Oh, hey, listen, I want to go over and rehearse a little bit on the piano. Is that all right?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Let me have your coat.
Okay.
Did you bring any music?
Oh, sure. I got
good.
one.
Now, listen, Dave is the nicest guy in this world, but he may be just a little bit grouchy this
Oh, yeah?
morning. After all, it's kind of early for... Oh, hi, Dave. How do you feel?
Yeah.
You look good this morning.
Yeah. What'd you get me up so early for? It's not even noon yet.
Oh, yeah, I'm awfully sorry about that, but this is the boy I was telling you about. This is Jim Dimitri. Jim, this is Dave LeWinter.
I'm very glad to know you, Mr. LeWinter. You know, I met Mr. LeWinter about 4 weeks ago. It was a Saturday night at the pump room, and you were playing, and I was at the back table, and I waved at you, and...
Yeah, well, Dave...
Well, what can I do for you, Kay?
Yeah, well, Jim has been singing at all the parties that we've been going to lately.
Parties, huh?
Yeah, and he's real great.
Oh, they're all great, yes.
And I thought that with all your experience in coaching these famous people, I thought maybe you could give him a few pointers and sort of help him with his audition that's coming up.
Well, what kind of an audition?
Well, it's a local radio show.
Oh. Did you bring some music?
Certainly.
Is this the key you sing in?
Yes, I think so. No, that's not it.
That's not it.
I think that's it, Mr. LeWinter.
You think that's the right key? What's your range?
Well, la-da-dee-da. Well, I can go all the way up to here. I strain a little on that one.
Would you show me on the piano where you start this song?
No, that's it right there.
Oh, that's a nice
Isn't
note.
it?
Yeah. How do you know that that's the right note?
Well, it's that white one there right next to the three black ones.
What's your routine on this?
Routine.
How much of the song do you sing?
Oh, well, I sing it once or twice. Yeah.
Once or twice? No, that's no good for an audition. If you want to make a good impression, you've got to be very professional about this. Now, here's the way you do it. You sing a chorus, I'll play a chorus, then you come in on the last half.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds
Okay.
good, yeah.
Now, let's try it that way and see what happens.
Are the stars? Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have eyes for you, dear. The moon may be high, still I can't see a thing in the sky, 'cause I only have eyes for you. I don't know if we're in a garden or on a crowded avenue. You are here, so am I. Maybe millions of people go by, but they all disappear from view, and I only have eyes for you. I don't know if we're in a garden or on a crowded avenue. You are here, so am I. Maybe millions of people go by, but they all disappear from view. Have eyes for you.
Hey, kids, come on, let's make this strictly a singing
excuse me,
thing
Mr.
here,
Lowen.
you know.
That's good.
Well, do you do any rhythm tunes?
Why, sure.
On the other side. Brought your whole library with you.
Oh, I have another one at home.
Oh, he's got another one at home. Somebody write this for you here?
And my mother wrote that out.
Mother. What note do you start this one on?
Well,
A black one this time. Yes, I see.
Different.
What's the tempo of this song, Jim?
well, let's see. I can't give you anything.
Rhythm. That's what he calls it. Okay.
I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of, baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, you're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you've always cried for. Gee, it's nice to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets Woolworth doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day I know darn well, baby, I can't give you anything but love.
Just a minute, will you hold it, Dave? Hold on. Well, hello, Mrs. Ellis. I'm I'm so happy that you could come up here today. Boys, I want you to meet Florence Burke Ellis. This is Dave LeWinter, Mrs. Ellis.
Mrs. Ellis, we met before.
Of course
At the pump room.
Oh, have
Imagine finding you at the pump room. Aren't you Mr. Pump himself?
Yes. But we did meet with Edna and the Rothbard, if you
Well, do
remember.
I remember,
Yes,
Dave?
of
And
course.
this is Jim Dimitri,
Very glad
Mrs.
to-
Ellis.
I'm awfully glad to know you, too.
Say, listen, we have some girl talk right now. Why don't you fellas go in and get some coffee? There's still some left, huh?
Okay. Bye.
Well, Mrs. Ellis, I can't tell you how happy I am that you could come over today. You know, people, this is one of the very special people that I invited over today. Mrs. Ellis has the distinction of being a world traveler and a literary critic and a grandmother and a hat-teer, I think you call it.
Did you make up that hat here yourself?
No, I didn't, because I heard a very interesting story about it. Suppose you tell me about it.
Well, I'll tell you. Many years ago, when I began my career as a book reviewer, which, by the way, is a little more accurate description of what I do rather than literary critic, Kay, because literary critics analyze the book critically, pick out its faults and so on and so forth. And I think, honestly, I tell what's in the book and dramatize some of its content. But years ago, when I became a professional book reviewer, I was just simply scared to death.
Really?
So I thought that it might be a wonderful idea to keep my audience's attention focused on some part of me rather than on what I would be saying. So I thought that perhaps a very unusual hat might do the trick. And long before Hedda Hopper or Maggie McNellis thought of it, I began to wear rather well, shall we say, unusual hats, and I think that's a masterpiece of understatement.
Well, I might say that that's a very beautiful one you have on. Well, I understand you even went into it more extensively than that, didn't you, Mrs. Ellis, over in France, wasn't it?
Yes, I have frequently, while in Paris, made the rounds of the great hat designers, and I do have a very funny hat, Kay, I'd like to tell you about.
Please do.
It was designed for me by Suzanne Talbot, one of the great French designers, and actually she took the design from a picture she found in the Louvre of Anne of Cleves. It's rather a stunning-looking little pillbox with a pointed effect in front. Well, I was charmed with it. And the day came when I was to go over and pick up this hat, among others, and I found that Suzanne had added something to the hat I hadn't seen originally. Well, she'd put earmuffs on it in this fashion. It's a little pillbox on top and earmuffs. And when I asked her why, I thought she was going to, of course, as everyone does discuss in Chicago, say something about our windy weather. And you know what she said? She said, "Oh, madame, I know you talk very much. So I put on earmuffs so you do not get tired of the sound of your own voice."
I think that's wonderful. Say, before we go any farther, can I get you a cigarette?
Oh, no, you can't get me a cigarette.
Why?
Because I don't smoke.
Oh, well, that sort of settles that, doesn't it?
And do you know why I don't smoke?
No.
Because I'm known as the woman of a few million words, and I simply can't talk as much as I do and smoke.
Well, that's exactly why you're here, Mrs. Ellis. I just hope you talk and talk and talk. But tell me, we sort of got off the subject of these book reviews. How many books are you able to cover every week?
Well, I average 3 programs a day, and I work 5 days a week, though I do frequently take a program on Saturday and Sunday. And I do give the largest book review in the world at one of the State Street stores, where we frequently have 2,000 people attend a book review, which is something of something of an eye-opener to people who don't believe that book reviewing is a rather large business now.
Well, it certainly seems to be. I imagine the audiences are quite enthusiastic over there, too, if they come out in numbers of 2,000.
Some of them come and bring their lunch at 11 o'clock so they can get front seats, which, by the way, I find very touching. I think that one thing you have to learn when you have a career in which the public is so primarily involved is to truly appreciate your public.
Oh, yes. I certainly think you're very right in that. But tell me, we wanted to talk about your travels, too. I understand that you've certainly been around the world a lot.
Well, I have traveled a great deal of the world. However, I've never been in Asia. But I am planning this next summer, if all goes well in Asia, a trip I'm sure will take me into Hong Kong and may take me closer even to what we hope by then won't be battle areas. But those are the areas, of course, that are making headlines now.
Well, now, in my introduction, I said literary critic, and you corrected me and said book reviewer. And I said hattier, and we sort of covered that. And I said world traveler, and we covered that. There's one thing left. Grandmother. Tell us about that. I understand.
Well, that should come first. Being the mother of 2 daughters, I didn't know that anyone had sons, actually. To me, all babies were little girls. And many a time I've insulted the mother of a fine-looking little boy by saying, "Oh, what a dear little girl." All of this until my own grandson, Jonathan, was born. Since then, all babies, for some reason or other, are boy babies, even when they're quite patently little girl babies.
So from now on, all little babies that you see will be little boy babies. Have you ever gone up to a new mother and said, "My, he is cute," and she gives you this cold stare and says, "It's a girl"?
Many a time, many a time. Even as in the past, I've gone up and said, "What a lovely little girl," when it's been a little boy.
Tell me, Mrs. Ellis, what do you like to do best? I mean, do you like to give book reviews? Do you just like to talk to people and interview them? What would you like to do best if someone came along and said, "Now, Mrs. Ellis, you can have anything you want. You can do anything you want"?
I don't think that I'll even have to hesitate a moment in answering that question, Kay. I like to keep house, and I like to cook.
Do you really?
I love to.
Well, what's your favorite dish?
Well, my favorite dish, actually, is spaghetti, though, to tell you the truth, unless you have a figure like yours, it's not a dish that one should too often make.
Do you have special ways to make
I have a secret formula for spaghetti that people have been trying to worm out of me for years, but thus far, I'll even tell my age, Kay. Not here, of course. But when confronted by someone who has the documents handy, I'll even tell my correct age, but I won't tell that secret ingredient in my spaghetti.
Well, I like to cook, too, but I don't have enough time to do it. I just don't have enough time to sort of fuss around in the kitchen the way I'd like to, so we're sort of meat and potatoes people ourselves. Listen, can I get you a cup of coffee?
Oh, I'd love one.
All right, I'll go get it for you.
Fine. No, shan't I come with you?
Well, fine, if you will.
I'd just love
The fellas are out there in the kitchen, so maybe they'd be pleased to have us join them, huh? Oh, say, someone else is coming in. You want to go on by yourself?
I will.
Okay, fine. I think that I heard the doorbell ringing over here, but I wasn't sure. Oh, Mr. Holmes, I'm so happy that you could come today. Very nice to see you.
Thank you for asking me.
Well, you're very welcome. I see that you left your coat and hat down on the first floor.
Yeah.
You didn't have any trouble with the stairs, did you?
I walked all the way up.
Did you
Oh,
really?
that's my daily exercise.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Now, won't you
I'm ready
sit down?
for an elevator strike.
You sit down and
Yeah.
relax now.
Gee, thanks a lot, Kay. Oh, you got company, huh?
Yeah, thanks very much for coming, Melon.
You know, that guy looks just like Burton Holmes.
Never mind, I'm an old married man. I've seen that before.
Mr. Holmes, I don't quite know what to say to you. That was one of my unexpected guests. And you never quite know what's going to pop out of that little room over there. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is another very special invited guest. Mr. Holmes, of course, is one of the most widely known gentlemen in the world, and I might say one of the best liked.
Spare my blushes, please.
Oh, you're not blushing, and if you are, it's very becoming.
I don't know how to blush, but I've got over that years and years ago.
Did you really?
Yes,
Well, I just think that you look very nice and healthy.
What's that?
You know, I had your book over here,
Oh, yeah.
and it says, A Life Story.
A life of crime. Pardon me.
Crime? Well, I didn't come to that part yet.
No, that's in the back, but the pages are torn out.
Oh, is that right? You know, I was a little embarrassed for a while to ask you to come up to my apartment when I was looking at all these handsome pictures of your homes and where are you living now permanently, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, in Hollywood.
Are you?
Well, when I have time. Isn't very much.
And what are you doing here in Chicago today?
Oh, I'm going down this afternoon to hear my associate speaker, Thayer Soul, talk about South Africa. I have to go and watch him do his stuff, don't you know, so that I can learn something from...
How come you're going to watch him talk about South Africa when you've been there so many times?
Well, he's a Marine, you see, and he may be grabbed at any moment. Major of the Marines. He may be sent off to Korea or somewhere.
Oh, I see.
In case I have to step in and give his topics.
Oh, I
So I
see.
watch him to see what he says and how he does it. So that I can really learn something from him and learn how to give the South Africa lecture. I had one of my own some years ago, but this is brand new one, the one he's giving now.
How long ago has it been since you were in South Africa?
Oh, I was there in 38, somewhere along there.
Is there any place in this world that you haven't been, Mr.
Lots of places. Never been up here before, for example.
Haven't you?
No.
Do you like it?
Very much
Will you
indeed.
come again?
I'd love to.
You're just welcome anytime you want to come. I want you to know that.
Well, thank you very much.
But tell me, I was especially interested in this book on the subject of Korea and China. How do you feel about that now with it?
Well, I feel very sad over it because the beautiful old Orient that I knew in the old days had all been smashed up. I mean, now a man with a camera over there is shot at. You can't roll around. I used to roll around over there and take life easy and see things and shoot things with the camera, of course. I've never done any other kind of shooting.
Oh, I think everyone knows your famous travelogue.
I was in Korea in 1901. That was before the Japanese came in and spoiled it in their way, and long before we came in and spoiled it in our more effective way.
We did just as much damage, I'm sure. But as I say, I'm sure everyone remembers your very famous travelogues. Just how long did those run? When
Well,
did
I
you
began,
start?
the World's Fair, the first one, 93, closed on November 1st, 1893.
You must tell me, because that was a little before my
Well,
time.
not before your time. And I felt that there was a great void in the world at that time. The World's Fair had been closed, nothing for people to do or interest them, so I said, I'm going to give some lectures. So 2 weeks after the fair closed, I rented a little hall on Wabash Avenue and started my show.
Is that right?
And it's been going on now for 58 years.
Oh, my. I think that's quite a record, don't you?
Well, another record is I've only missed 2 dates.
You
Only
have.
failed to appear twice in 58 years with 150 nights a year on an average.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful
I'm an
thing.
enduring old thing, I know that.
Aren't you, though? How do you manage to
How
do
they
that?
endure me, I don't know, but I endure all right.
There's no question of enduring. I know that everyone looks forward to it. I have something to tell you. You had a motion picture company right here in Chicago.
Yes, absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I did many pictures up there.
Oh, well,
I
I'm sorry I wasn't more closely. So I was interested in these. It was my concern, but I spent very little time there because that was the...
And another important thing that I didn't realize that you were born right here in Chicago, Mr. Holmes.
Well, right across the street from the Wabash Avenue entrance to the auditorium.
Is that
It's a sad-looking neighborhood now. Right across the street there where Kunz Remmler's restaurant used to be. The old-timers will know where that was.
Sure.
And that was 1870, long before the fire.
Oh, yes. About that fire, did it do a lot of damage?
Well, no, we
right
moved
there?
away before the fire. The fire came, I was about 16 months old when the fire came on.
Oh, I see.
We moved then up to Indiana Avenue. I was in the fire.
But you
I
spent
survived
just your boyhood days, right?
Well, my babyhood days
Your
on Wabash
babyhood
Avenue,
days.
and then my boyhood days. Grandfather had a house on Michigan Avenue where the Congress Hotel is now.
Oh, is that right?
And from 1876, when I was the tender age of 6, we moved in there after Grandfather's death and lived there until 1914. And then moved
In
to New
your
York.
travels now, did you ever do anything as far as hunting was concerned?
No, I don't. I hunt only with a camera. I don't like the idea.
Oh,
I
no,
don't like the idea of killing. I like to kill an audience if I do it, but I don't like to kill anybody, literally.
But did you ever have any pets that you liked especially? I mean, did you
Pets,
have dogs?
no, cameras.
Just cameras?
Just camera. And in the old days, I was a magician as a youngster. I had a picture
A magician?
I had a little theater in the basement of the house and did tricks. Herman was my ideal.
Oh,
la, la.
Herman? Is that?
Herman the Great.
Oh,
Here we
dear.
are. There's a little stage I had down in the basement of our house, and here I am in Father's old dress suit. Doing
Very
tricks
handsome, I might say.
And doing all the tricks, taking cannonballs out of hats and all that sort of thing. Rabbits. I saw some rabbits back here.
Oh, yes, yes.
Another program here.
Yes,
They were
we
bigger
have.
than I used. I had to have little rabbits I could get in here.
Oh. Say, tell me, did you ever, when you had a rabbit in your hat, did you ever fail to bring him out?
I was very prompt about that.
I'm very happy to know. May I get you some coffee?
Oh,
We
thank
have
you.
some guests in the kitchen.
Oh, bravo.
Would you like some
I think
coffee?
I would.
All right, fine. Oh, well, here they come. Mrs. Ellis, do you know Mr. Holmes?
Pardon, no,
I do. I'm
old
so
man,
glad
you're not
to
getting
see
up.
you again.
I'm so old I don't have to rise in the presence of youth, beauty, or royalty.
young,
Yeah.
Mr.
I
Holmes.
just sit.
Mr. Holmes, this is Dave LeWinter
How do you do, sir?
and Jim Dimitri.
Very glad to know you,
Mr.
sir.
Holmes, come sit down, fellows. We were just talking about, oh, listen, I was going to get him some coffee.
Here's some right here.
All right, would you give it to him?
Sure.
Thank you. Here you are,
Pump
Mr.
room
Holmes.
service.
Yes, pump room service. Did you know that Dave LeWinter
Yes.
is the orchestra leader over there at the
I
pump
was
room?
helping support the pump room the other night. A friend asked me in, and he did it very handsomely.
Oh, Dave is a fine player. As a matter of fact, Jimmy is a very fine singer, too. And they were sort of up here
What a
rehearsing.
good-looking boy he is.
Isn't he, now?
I tell you, these ancient Greeks, they're wonderful.
How did you know he was Greek?
You never see as good-looking people anywhere else. Zito, Hellas.
Oh,
He knows what that means, anyway.
What does it mean, Jimmy?
It means long live Greece.
Oh,
Jimmy, may I speak to you in Greek?
Certainly.
Let me see now. I could say you sing Polikala,
Well, thank you very much.
What does that mean?
Very good.
and I could say Yes, I could say Tiyanisa,
That means...
Ticanus,
yeah,
in the
Ticanus, how are
Athenian
you?
dialect. How are you? I learned that in Athens, Mr. Holmes.
Wasn't that a lovely town in the old days?
Oh, beautiful.
say, you
Back
two
in the
should-
days of Demosthenes and Pericles,
Mr. Holmes, I
was a
received the
Greek in my
implication
former...
I was alive when Demosthenes was alive.
Say, Mr. Holmes, I hear you're going to make a tour of the Skokie Valley out here.
Oh, I do that
David.
5 times every year on the way up to Milwaukee and back on
When you
Sunday.
do, I want to
Complete
read
with
up on it.
camera.
Well, you're very good health, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
This is-
You know, you two should have very much to talk about being world travelers.
Well, I want to tell you, Kay, about something that happened years ago in Egypt. Before the program, Mr. Holmes and I were discussing how to pronounce the name of the hotel that's situated near the pyramids in Egypt, and neither of us remember whether it's Mona House, Mena House, nor Mina House. But at any rate, I occupied the room you had just left in the Mena House, or Mona House, or Mina House, in Egypt.
The hotel within sight of the pyramids.
Right, that's the one.
Can't miss it, the only one there.
While they're talking, I just want you to know that I'm very glad you could come over today. I'm sorry you have to go so soon. Do you suppose you could come again and meet some more of my friends? Let's see now. Next Saturday, you're going to Faith Baldwin's Theater of Romance, but how about the Saturday after that? Okay? I'll expect you 2 weeks from today. Be sure to come now.
Okay.
I'll be right there.
Okay.
Okay, starring Kay Westfall with Jim Dimitri and David LeWinter, comes to you every other Saturday at the same time from Chicago as a presentation of the American Broadcasting Company.
There's just one more thing before you go, friends. This has been our 18th observance of Brotherhood Week. All during the week, we've pledged ourselves to democratic unity and intergroup understanding, which, of course, is so very important in these days of anxiety. But democracy must live for more than just 1 week. So let's be sure that we do our part in keeping it going forever, okay? Okay.
The preceding program, originally telecast by ABC in Chicago, has come to you by special video recording. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.